oh my God, am I really gonna do this? In the middle of a launch? Am I really gonna stop and just pivot my business around? I think I am. But these thoughts in my head, who am I to do this? Can I do this? Will anybody laugh at me? Oh man, that was intense. It was really intense. Let me take you back to this moment. It was last month, actually. I was in the middle of a launch for a course that if you have listened to previous podcasts, you will know which course I'm talking about. It's the one about sustainability. And in the middle of this launch, I was like, okay, I didn't really do everything right. That I know for sure. And well, nobody had signed up at this point. I was a week into my launch, and I know you have to launch like until the end. I know you do. And that is an issue that this thing is gonna go off. Whatever, we'll just deal with it. And I wasn't really feeling it. And that was a problem because when you're launching something, it's really nice if you're very enthusiastic about it, right? So in the middle of this, I decided to pivot my business. And the funny thing is, a year before that, I still had a business in horsemanship. And I did the same thing exactly a year ago. And as soon as I saw that in my Instagram archive, I was like, okay, this was meant to be. I had to launch this course and it had to be this way. But I want to take you on a journey that I took because I had so many thoughts that were holding me back. I had so many like imposter syndrome things. Who am I to do this? Can I do this? Am I good enough? And I want to tag you along and tell you how I deal with those thoughts when they come up. And I know I have to pivot, do something else, take a chance. But it's hard. It's definitely hard. 4 days before I took this decision, I talked to one of my business buddies. And we had a talk about our target audience and how to deal with that, how to make it more specific, how to adjust it, how to go for a little bit more niche. And we were talking, I was like, yeah, it would also be really nice if I was very enthusiastic about this. And I am, like, don't get me wrong, I'm still in love with planet Earth. I still think it's very important we take really good care of her. However, pinpointing this to customer or clients instead of like the people that make me really happy and energized, that was a problem. I didn't like the target audience. I don't think it was specific enough, actually, which is why it's hard to make a really good course. And I thought, okay, I want to do this for entrepreneurs. So we were talking on the phone about her target audience and then my target audience. I was like, yeah, okay, I don't want to focus on anyone in this world anymore. I want to focus on entrepreneurs because I like those. I like the mindset. I like to be around those kind of people. So I think I'm gonna have to change. Well, I'm glad I didn't make this course already. This is why you shouldn't make your course before you actually sold it or your product before you sold it. In a lot of cases, if you have the chance to do that. Make sure you sell it first. And I thought, okay, I can change it. And I thought over in the weekend, if I'm going to change it for entrepreneurs, how am I going to do that? How I'm going to change this course? And I was like, okay, I can do it, but I have to really dive into this topic again. It's not going to be easy, especially not to do this in a week. It didn't feel right in my body. I had like this feeling of being locked, it got stuck. It was like I had like a stone in my stomach. I do not know if that's an English phrase. However, I think it is. But it was a really gut feeling. I have to change. And in the weeks before I launched this course, something else was wandering through my mind already a couple of times. I thought, what if I make a course for introvert entrepreneurs? What if I make a course that is gonna help people understand why they are different than 70% of the world, because introverts are like 30% of the population, they think. This idea was going through my mind. I was like, okay, I have a lot more energy toward that. And then, well, yeah, this is maybe for women only, but I don't want to go around taboo topics or something like that. So it was the first day of my period, and that's actually the worst day to make decisions. Honestly, it's absolutely the worst. I will never launch during my period anymore. If I can go around it, I will. And yeah, that was interesting. That day, I actually took the decision. It was on a Monday. I was like, fuck, am I gonna do this? Am I really, really gonna just stop launching? Will anybody notice? Will anybody notice what I'm doing? Probably not. Maybe not. Nah, I can just delete everything. It will be fine. And that's what I did. I deleted it. I deleted the sales page. I deactivated the payment page. I very silently didn't mention it anymore because I wanted to do something else. And let me focus in on the thoughts that I had, because I had a lot of thoughts about this. Who am I to do this? Who am I to make a course for entrepreneurs when I am an entrepreneur for sure, but I don't have 10 years of experience. Who am I to do something for introverts? Yeah, well, I am an introvert, have been my whole life, because, well, you're basically born with it. And I thought, how am I going to do this? How the hell am I going to pull this off? I have this goal that I want to make one online course in the first quarter of the year, and we have 1 week left. So that's got to be interesting. The first thing I did was texting my business buddies, can somebody talk right now? And they were both busy. I thought, oh my God, the moment that I need you the most, you're not there. That's annoying. Still love you though, but that was not nice. I was like, fuck, I don't have anyone to talk to. Well, okay. Well, my boyfriend is an entrepreneur, and we talk business. We talk mostly about his business though in this home. And yeah, I thought, okay, that's actually the only entrepreneur that I'm gonna be able to speak to today. So we talked about my problem and my new idea, making something for introvert entrepreneurs, and that I felt scared. I absolutely felt really scared to make this change, to look, not mentioning the other course, that's one thing. Making something new else entirely, not knowing if I have like the right people following me. That was scary. There were two thoughts in my mind. How the hell am I gonna pull this off? And what will people think? Let's dive into the last one. What will people think? And actually, I don't care what other people think. This is my business. I love my business. I love growing as a person. I love exploring all the possibilities that are there in entrepreneur land. And I love it. I love to take charge of my own day, make sure that I learn everything, that I do everything, and that I share my knowledge with you guys. So yeah. Well, if people think you're stupid, or if people think, well, no, that's not gonna happen, or you're never gonna be successful, or yeah, well, this is my life. It's my business. This is how I want to do it. And I believe I can. I think Henry Ford said that, and it's repeated very often by a lot of people. Whether you think you can or you can't, you're right. And I choose to believe I can. There's no other way. I believe I can. Other people have done it before me. So I can do this too. I also Googled, are there courses for introverts? Well, yes, there are a lot of those. I thought, well, then at least there are people who want to buy this at some point, right? So I only have to find them. Yeah, what will people think? Well, I think it matters most what I think. What do I think about me? Have I failed that I just stopped the other launch? Have I failed? No, I didn't. I learned something. The most important thing is if you don't try this product, if you don't try that target audience, if you don't try and figure out how to make a podcast, or if you don't try and share your first LinkedIn post or Instagram post or wherever, on which social media you are, if you don't try, you can't learn. That's impossible, because you have to make mistakes in order to learn. Or you have to, if you dive in and you know all of it, that still doesn't mean you can actually do it. Those are two completely different things. So I tried and I learned, okay, this is not my target audience. Okay, this is not the course that I want to make right now. Maybe in 1-2 years, I will make a course for purpose, how to make your business purpose driven or something like that. But yeah, not today. I'm not gonna do that today. But I learned I want to do something else. I learned I want to do this for other people. And that's awesome. I love learning. So it was a very good idea to actually do this and just stop halfway, quit doing this. So yeah, that was the first thought I had. And the second thought was, how the hell am I gonna do this? How am I gonna pull this off? And I was talking to my boyfriend and he said, well, you know introvert entrepreneurs, right? And I started thinking, I was like, yeah, I know those. I actually know quite a lot of those. Okay, let me text him. So on the spot, I started with my market target research. And I texted all these people like, okay, can you help me out? I want to do this. Can I interview you? Can I talk to you this week? Because I had planned to record a course and I wasn't going to do that. So I had all the time in the world to talk with these people. And I did. I talked to, I think, 5-6 people that week. And I thought, this is going to happen. This course is really going to happen. It's not going to be finished in the first quarter of this year, which was what my goal was. But it is going to be finished in the first week of April. And I don't know, whatever fire was lit somewhere inside me, but I went like a tornado after that. And I made my course and I recorded everything and I edited everything and I found a lot of people to test it. I gave away this course for free to about 10 people because I wanted feedback, because I want to learn. I probably made mistakes doing this. And I wanted feedback. So that's what I did. I gave it away for free. That's not possible anymore, by the way. So whatever you want to do, if you're an introvert, if you're an entrepreneur or not, doesn't really matter. Thing you want to do, want to learn, just try. Just go take the first step and don't listen to the voice in your head that's going to tell you, no, I don't think I can. If you think that, you will never try, so you will never actually can. That's impossible. Or this other thoughts like, what will other people think of me? It doesn't matter. It absolutely doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what you think. That's the most important thing. What do you think? And everything you put out in the world, everything you try, you will meet resistance. You will get reactions like, should you do this? The first question my mom asked about my course, and I love my mom for sure. I haven't told her this yet, so I'm going to tell her that before I publish this. She said, what if people share their passwords for your course? And I was like, if you're going to share your password for this ridiculous low amount of money for my course, be my guest. You might need it, whatever. That's not worth my energy. It really isn't. I don't want to come from a place where I feel everything is lacking. I want to think in abundance. I would never do that with anybody, sharing my password for a course. And even if I did, I probably had a good reason, and well, I hope you learned something from it. The other person that didn't pay. But yeah, so my mom thought, well, what if people are going to do that? You're going to miss out on some income and sales. And yeah, it doesn't, I mean, it's not nice if that happens, but that was the first thing she said to me, and was like, all right, this is not how we do this. If anybody in my surroundings has like an idea of put something out in this world, I'm always like, go for it, go do this, because it's awesome. You have this idea, it's amazing. I might do it differently. Sometimes usually I don't even mention that. Sometimes I give a tip. I say it's awesome, this idea, and I love it. I love that you're going for this, and can I give you one tip? And if some people say no, then I'm not going to give my tip. I'm just like, go for it, go do what you like. Where did I come from? Oh yeah, what other people think. Well, that was the first reaction of my mom about this, and I was like, yeah, that's gonna happen. When you put something out in this world, people are gonna ask you questions from their point of view. And I always ask myself, are you where I want to be? In the case of my mom, I'm sorry, Mom, that this is in here, and I use you as an example. But in case of my mom, she's not an entrepreneur. She's not active online. I don't think she ever bought an online course, which is fine. I mean, she's 35 years older than me. And, I don't listen. I just don't listen. If you're not where I want to be, I'm not going to listen to you on that specific topic, right? On that specific topic. Then I just don't listen. Because if I would listen and I would not do it, I won't launch this course. I will be fucking miserable. If I do that, if I would listen to the safety and the security that I would need, and I did that before. It's not a good road. I will be miserable in my day-to-day job. And that will be my life. And we're fucking miserable. Because I hate going to the office. I hate office politics. So, no, I'm not gonna listen. I'm gonna do what I want. It's way, way more important than listening to the insecurities of other people. Because that's usually where this advice comes from. So yes, please try something new. And to just figure it out and let go of all the thoughts that will hold you back. That's the story that I wanted to tell you today. If you think, what kind of course was she talking about? Please check out my website. I will put the right link in the show notes. Thank you so much for taking the time to listen. I hope it inspired you in some sort of way, and I would love to hear from that. Tag me on Instagram, TikTok, or send me an email. I would love to hear from you and get to know what inspired you and how it made a difference in your life. And I will hope I will see you in the next episode.